What's up, y'all? It's Blackie Chad, and I'm here with James Allen and Rae.Dianz. We're here to talk about this new single that they have called Cold, and I'm just excited to have the pleasure to interview them on this great song. James, how did this song come about?
So this song came about.
And how did you get Rae.Dianz on it also?
Yeah, so
The lovely Rae.Dianz.
I was telling Rae.Dianz before about this interaction I had with a left passenger, and where he got in the car, he just didn't speak or whatever. And I didn't take it personal, but after a while we started driving. He's just like, man, my bad, man. I'm just a lot of stuff going on in my life. I just lost my apartment, and people was turning their backs on me and stuff like that. Man, I'm ready to just say, I'm ready to say fuck everybody. And I'm like, man, my exact words is, you can't let this world turn you cold. And that's what sparked the idea of the song. So I went to the studio. My great friend, producer Gibbs, put the beat together, and that was the topic that was on my mind at the time, so I recorded that. And I had it sitting for a while. I just had one verse on it. And when I came time to think about who I can collab with, Rae was like, I saw Rae.Dianz out one time. We was at Silk City. She was like, oh, we got to do something. I'm like, that song popped right in my mind. I'm like, all right, yeah. So I sent to that one, and then
the rest is history.
Yeah, the rest is history.
It was at the Boombox?
It was at Boombox,
yeah,
for sure.
That was a good night.
So how did it go? You just sent the beat, or you did your verse and sent it over?
Yeah, you already had your drawing done.
I just had my verse on there,
Okay.
The verse and part of the beat, and then she took it from there and just took it all the way.
So how did this story come to you? Did you get all of this backstory, or he just sent you the record and you just were able to just go off?
I'm unsure if I heard the story when we were in the studio or if we were at Boombox, but it was a lot going on at Boombox. We're probably not there. But honestly, I was going through the similar thing. So the track hit. Like I think around that time I released a song called Frank that was like about feeling like I was losing friends and losing myself. So like I feel like it just coincided with just everything I was going through. And even to this day, I've been trying to like work on my attitude and everything like that. So it definitely came very, very naturally.
So as I like dissect the song and listen to it, it to me, and correct me if I'm wrong, guys, it comes to me as a position of healed, like being healed. Because the way that you guys came across the song is like, hey, I've been through this so many times. Young grasshoppers or whoever going through this, use my story to manifest through this. Do you guys feel healed, or how were you able to convey that message that good?
I felt healed because I noticed I was healed by the way I handled the situation with the passenger. When he didn't get in and like when he got in and didn't speak, I knew not to take it personal because I know things are going on in people's lives. So I could have been like, damn, bro, what's up? How you doing? Hello. And that could have sparked something because he already going through something and could have went left. But I knew to just be like, all right, just not take it personal. I knew just let it go from there. And then after a while, he just came around like that. He calmed his own self down. He was like, damn, my bad, bro. I'm going through X, Y, and Z. So I knew I was able to speak from a healed place. I knew I was handling that situation as my healed self.
What was that?
Thank you.
Mind you, as a person, you're very like, I've never seen you be upset. I don't think I ever will in this lifetime of existence, which is like amazing. But for me, I guess like healing, I feel like is a continuous thing. And I've like met so many people and had so many interactions over the years. I definitely had my feelings hurt a lot more often than not. And I think I had to kind of have that theme of it's not that deep, like, and nobody's trying to do it personally. And even if they are, it's not always about you. So I think I'm at a better position I was than when I first heard it, when I first recorded it, when we first like really made it something. I feel like I've been in different stages of really getting better each time, and I think I just want to keep getting 1% better each day.
I love that. So when we talk about being cold, and this is for both of you, I'm gonna start with you, Rae.Dianz. It's like, don't let the world turn you cold. So how do you get through these situations where you deserve, or you should feel like, hey, this person did me this way, I want to treat everybody that way?
I think the biggest thing is just taking a break. Like, the moments, you don't have to stay in them. Like, and the feelings are very temporary, so sometimes you need to walk away. You need to take a breath. You need to get some water. Like, just reframe and just get centered, because it's easy to get up there and get so upset, but you have to find your ground. And everybody's grounding is very different. For me, I need to check my water. Food doesn't get me as upset as it used to. Like, you know how people are like, oh, she's hangry, whatever. I just learned to like breathe and sometimes meditate, pray. I've been praying a lot more lately, actually, and just kind of taking a second and being logical about it rather than emotional about it, because things happen all the time.
For sure.
And for you?
Can you repeat the question?
So the question was in this, I don't remember exactly, but it was more so about how do you stop people from turning you cold?
Again, remembering that everything is not personal. Everybody got something else going on.
Sure we do.
And sometimes we internalize things like, well, I don't deserve this. Why is this person speaking to me like this? Or why is this person acting this way? And once I stop taking things personal, and I know everybody got something else going on, it's kind of just that thought allows me to not turn cold.
And again, I'm speaking to both of you guys about being healed, but I just challenge that theory, right? Because there has to be some times where sometimes you gotta pop out and show niggas. You know what I mean?
It's how you do it.
It's how you do it,
How you do
but
it.
sometimes you want to get a person back for how they hurt you. Now, granted, the best, the what is it? The best way to get somebody, the best revenge is to be happy or to live successful.
Pretty much.
But like, sometimes don't it feel good to let somebody know you ain't what you ain't what they thought you was? Because sometimes people will play with you, and sometimes at what point do you take your stand and say this is not that?
For sure.
Is it my turn? Oh.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's about discernment. Like, not everybody deserves that, but there are some people that will pop fly and will try something. But how you choose to communicate is everything. Being able to say, this is not what I liked, I'm not really into it, I'm gonna see you when I see you. Removing my energy and presence that is the revenge. I don't need to sink further into it because there's so many other things going well. If I focus on that one thing that's not going right, or the one thing that person said, and I'm negating all the good things that are in front of my face, I feel like I'm losing. So they got it. You got me once, you won't get me again. You won't get me again.
So is that like being a slave to your emotions?
Uh,
To be able to control, I mean, not to be able to control them, but to somebody say something to you, you become snappy, or you change, or they make you cold. But
a bit, yeah.
let me take that back. What is cold? Because I believe we all have two sides to us, right? We got the side that's chill, but then we got the side who is a little bit strong and stand up and be like, you're not doing that. But what is cold? Is cold beyond that?
I feel like it's like you get to that point where you don't care about anything.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck. Like, it's like you're in the state of I gotta pop out and show somebody all the time. Like, that's your natural state at that point.
So
You
cold
become cold.
is a consistent. It's ice.
It's ice.
Still in the freezer.
Yeah,
It's consistent.
It's driving down the street and you see somebody trying to get over, they got their turn signal on, you just speed up, not even look at them. It's like that.
Yeah.
Okay, Jasmine Sullivan said this. She said, and granted, I don't know it verbatim, but it was in the song where she said, can a guy make a hoe, or can a woman make a hoe out of a man? And I know this seems a little bit far-fetched, but this is actually going back to what
Say it one more time.
Can a what she say in the song?
Can a
She
woman
said-
make a guy
She said,
hoe?
you gonna make a hoe out of me.
Right.
Right? Is that possible? Or is that you turning cold?
That's the attempt to turn cold. That's kind of, it's the removal of the emotional loving, because you feel like you're not going to get it from that person, so you start to guard and you block off. And yeah, so it's the cold. It's becoming frigid. You become unreliable, slippery, uncertain, unsafe, and you feel like you can't open up and have that warmth of your heart because you don't feel like you can trust what's around you, which is valid. I feel like it's a very valid feeling to go through that as a person and get your feelings hurt and want to wall up to understand even what it is and just to digest it. But sometimes we can weaponize our emotions really hard. And I think you talked about it earlier, where's the communication? There's not always a communicative like moment to explain, I felt this, you hurt me, I'm going to do this. But some people are just like, you suck, you did that. And sometimes it's just not all that. Sometimes somebody messed up and it's whatever.
So do you feel like in those situations, one of the biggest tribulations of that is that you feel like you have to be heard? Like, can Rae.Dianz do something to you and you say, she's not going to make me cold, you walk away and not address it? Or do you have to be heard to let her know how you felt?
No, I feel like that's the first part you said. I'm not going to let this affect me, no matter what it is. That's a personal choice.
Yeah.
For me, it's just like, yeah, I'm and I know a lot of people don't respond that way. It's something I've worked on.
you know, we have to, and I know we gotta go because we all are hangry. There's a part where it's like you go through something with somebody specific, and the only person you can vent to is somebody that know both of y'all, right?
Oh,
Is
yeah.
that something that you guys have to do? Especially you. I'm asking both of you, but I'm asking you this too because you're like, they're not me. Falling to that is a choice. So instead of addressing it, I'm gonna just leave it alone. But there has to be a human part of you that still, regardless, you're not showing that you're upset, but you still feel it internally. So how do you deal with that part specifically without having to say, "Yo, remember Mark, our friend Mark? You know he did to me what he did to you." You find companionship in that, not companionship, but you find a connection with a person who know both of y'all. So if you don't address it, how do you address it?
And I'm gonna hit that right after you do.
Where I internalize it. It's
Okay.
like I may go for a walk. I go sit by the river or something like that. Just process it myself, even if I don't speak to anyone about it. And that kind of helps me. You just release it.
So is that
I
a
let it
help
go.
or is that just something you do, like you used to?
Good question.
The internalizing was an interesting word to use.
Yeah, I
'cause that means
kind
you
of.
keep it.
Yeah, I process it as all right. It's not that deep. All right, so it goes. I am feeling this way. I'm upset about it, but why am I upset? I question all these. Everything is happening,
All right.
and mentally. So it's like, why am I feeling this way? Why did that make me feel this way? Why am I upset about that? Is it even that serious? So these are questions I go through, and then after a while, just like I'll come to a conclusion, whatever it is. Like, all right.
So now I have a question before we get back to you. Are you coping or are you healing?
I feel like I'm healing. I don't feel like it's coping because I don't feel like that process is detrimental to me.
But in that time of you internalizing, you're actually giving a person an opportunity to go away scot free. But you're also giving them so much grace that might not be realistic. Because you're like, maybe they did this, maybe they did that, or maybe they did that because their mom was going through something, or maybe they did that. You're doing a whole lot of maybes to give them grace when sometimes people just be on some bullshit.
I feel you, and
So-
that may be one of my setbacks, is I see things from multiple perspectives, and I always try to approach things like that. Maybe they be on some bullshit, but I'll give them the grace of, or maybe they just was going through such and such a day. Maybe it's
Be mindful of the outcomes, because the outcome is not, the overthinking part of it is not the actual what to do or what not to do, whether to address them or whether not to address them. It's the thought process of the outcome of what could happen if you do address them. And that sometimes retracts us from actually addressing things, and then we internalize things. I don't have to get into an argument with you for what you did to me. Hey, look, you did this to me and I don't like it.
right.
Now, it's not for you to apologize. It's not for you to rectify or explain. It's just for me to let you know that I'm not going to carry all of this weight. I'm going to let you know. So the next time you see me, you know you're going to have to figure out if you should put your hand out or should you just keep walking.
What does upset me is explaining that and the person not being mentally mature enough to even understand or comprehend that. So it's like that does frustrate me.
Can I remind us?
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Because I literally just went through this whole drawing over the weekend too. And because mind you, I'm a girl. So girl drama is different sometimes, like, than males or whatever. I don't know if you guys talk more or less, but, you know. But literally, I had to go through that over the weekend where there was something I didn't like. And it was that same night or whatever that we just performed. And it was just kind of a shift of energy. It was just like somebody I'm very familiar with that I really do love. And we've been friends for a very long time. But there's been a lot of different moments that didn't make me feel good. And I've overlooked them and tried to give grace and room. And I think my grace has run out over something that I could overlook. I could and like take it in and be like whatever, but no, I didn't like it. And I sat with it and I communicated that, and I made sure that I communicated how I felt, but I also at the end I'm not only giving love, but I'm like, I think you're doing what is correct for you. You know, and within that it was met with a very interesting response, which, you know, everybody deserves their own opinion of what it is, but I think standing firm in, I don't like this, I don't know if I want to be around this anymore.
For sure.
I think making that definitive notion makes it feel more comfortable, because it's like, I don't like this, but how much do I how much do I not like it to stick around?
Right.
Will I stay in this like situation with this person because is it repeated? And for me, it was a repeated offense, so I was like, this is something that is not, I don't want to normalize.
Right.
And if I'm going towards something that feels better for me, then I can allow certain things to come in my life that may be different from that, that literally go with my morals, disciplines, whatever. So I feel like being able to communicate how you feel, standing firm in that, no matter what the response is, and then being able to just not volley, but just respond when you're ready, you know what I'm saying? But understand that like there does need to be a choice sometimes if it feels that heavy.
Yeah, for sure.
Once you make that choice, it feels like healing from then. But it feels like coping when you take it in. You're like, all right, because we water signs. You want to punch something sometimes. You know you do.
Yeah.
And me personally, I might punch you. I don't know. But like, it's just not, I feel like being emotional people, being water signs, earth signs, whatever, there's people that are very empathic and they take in so much energy and so much emotion of what people do. It can kind of make you feel away. And it's just like, but then when you start feeling away, they're like, well, why do you feel that way? And they'll point at you and look at you and laugh at you.
I think what you did, I mean, your maturity is, I give you kudos for that, because like you but certain things happened with this person that became consistent to be a pattern. And then on the last time, not that you had the right, you could have lashed out because you had downloaded so many situations that you didn't give them an opportunity to clarify or fix. So you didn't, this 6 months, you did this on December 3rd, you did this February 16th, and they're not even able to give their side of the story. So the fact that you internalized it, but actually received it, and then we're able to like break it down and say, this is how I feel. And I think we have to be better at saying how we feel. Like, this is not fact. This is not, you didn't do this on purpose, but this is how, what you did made me feel this way.
And understanding that some people, it's okay to let them go off of that. Not everybody needs to be around. Especially being musicians, there's so many people around.
Yeah.
You can't keep everybody. Ain't no way we all on the same page.
So let's talk about, real fast before we go, let's talk about your integrity, right? And your integrity mixed with turning cold, right? So how can you believe in what you believe in as far as like closure?
In the sense of, how do I believe in what I believe in the sense of how I approach things?
Right, in a way where it's like, you've been clear that you don't have a problem leaving a person alone, stepping away.
It took some time.
Right.
I ain't gonna hold you. I definitely grew up in a very tumultuous household where I became very reclusive and very submissive.
Right.
So it was very hard to speak up for myself until I became Rae.Dianz. And becoming Rae.Dianz was very different because people are getting to know me in a performative state.
Okay.
So a lot of people are performing when they meet me or when they're hanging out or whatever. So over time, I've had to go through a lot of different situations that had me be like, what type of woman do I want to be? And I think over the last year, I was thinking about more of like what it would be like for me to actually have a family. And I really started looking at like, okay, who would be in my backyard though, for real? And it had me really looking at certain behaviors, and I found myself praying more, going to church. I found myself really meditating a lot more, taking care of just how my temperament is. That went with my nutrition. Like, I did a whole lifestyle change. And it had me really approaching things slower, calmer, and just with a level head of like, is it really that deep? 9 times out of 10, no. I'm going to be burnt out. Don't get me wrong. I will need a second. I do get exhausted of foolishness. I don't like foolishness. It's not my thing. But it does not require me to get upset, like, especially because I'm in the forefront. So people, and I'm a black woman, so people are waiting for me to be pissed. You know what I'm saying?
That's a fact.
And I'm looking to be the opposite of the stereotype given to me.
So have you adopted Rae.Dianz from it being more performative to a way of life and a lifestyle?
Yes.
Where it kind of adopted to who you are, because submissive
You
and
ate
all
that
the
up.
things that you actually said I didn't see. So I guess I'm seeing the transform Rae.Dianz.
Yeah.
So now this is going to be on your birth certificate now.
I'm crying, real tears. But literally, when we create these concepts of who we are and expanding that to an audience, we are adding to a culture. And it's like, what do you want to add to the culture? Do you want people to be more focused about finances and money? And we're talking about some morality. We're talking about be grounded and let yourself feel how you feel, but don't let that dictate how you move with other people.
James, I think that like a lot of the things that we say is stupid, right? I think that people say things that motivate us, and I know you being a teacher, you don't.
You know it's hilarious. I'm gonna let you be a person.
Right.
Yes.
But ultimately, a lot of things that we say are stupid, and we believe it. It's like politics. We believe it. It's stupid. But what I want to say is like one of the things that I think is the most stupid, right? Not stupidest, but stupid is people say it's never too late. If we ever think about it, it's stupid to believe that it's never too late because there is times where it will be too late. So your personality, is it the way you are, is that stubbornness, ego, or do you think you're perfect?
I don't think I'm perfect.
Right.
I've had questions.
It's none of those.
Okay. Or is it comfort?
It's
Because the reason why I say that is stupid because people will tell you to be who you are, be who you're comfortable with being. But is that lazy, right? Is that a thing that I'm gonna stand on who I am? But where's the progression? How do we get better? How do we turn into Rae.Dianz from what our regular Social Security number was? Birth certificate was? How do we get to that next level?
First of all, is it? Do you want to get to a next level? Is there even another level?
See, it's comfort.
For me, I don't feel like it's comfort though. I feel like it's just
It's discomfort, actually.
I've always just been what you see is what you get. It was never walk in a room, turn the switch on. Now I'm this person. I'm James here. I'm James here. I'm James here. It was always that, and that's uncommon, but it's me.
I don't believe that everybody deserves you or you, right?
That's valid.
So to end this in a way as we come into the conclusion, right? What's wrong with turning cold? Can we turn cold? Or
we have as a mass
turn cold
over time.
should we be cold? Because sometimes we should be cold. Sometimes cold might be not doing the things that you used to do, not allowing you to borrow my car anymore, or not letting you borrow money. But is being cold a bad thing only when other people turn you cold, or is it bad when you decide to be cold because that's who you want to be?
I'll let you take it first.
I feel like you can turn cold. I don't think you should turn cold because it makes you treat people a certain way, well, badly. We look at all the supervillains. It's like something happened to them that made them into a villain. But some villains don't be wrong. And some
Actually,
do.
No villain is
actually, that's real life. Actually,
Right.
villains are always looking for change. Heroes are always trying to keep it the same.
But even, we could go deep, and I know we can because I like having these conversations. But there is no disparaging. I don't know if that's the right word. There's no difference between a hero and a villain.
Just the action they took.
It's really Democrats or Republicans who you believe because the hero falls into a small thing of what they're supposed to do. Now, the villain actually is somebody you just don't agree with. You deem them to be bad, but in my mind, as I've been studying, there's no such thing as good or bad because it takes bad to get to good, but you need the good, but you can't call it bad because you needed it. If the army, we talked about this before, if a Chinese army came and you was in the Chinese army and they would come in to draft you and you broke your leg the day before, you would say, oh my God, you fell off a horse, that's bad. But then the Chinese army is coming to draft you and now they can't draft you because your leg is broke.
Right.
So
That sounds like different movies and perspectives.
Right.
That's basically what it is.
For sure. So what is wrong? I like villains. I'll talk to you guys too about day and night. I think you have to be a hero and a villain. I think a villain is just
I think that's absolutely true.
doing what is not popular, and you are a villain when you tell somebody no. You are a villain when you tell somebody no.
Right.
And that's the crazy thing. A lot of people need villains. So like the no is always something that people run away from, but no is not a bad thing. No is a pivot.
Right.
And my kids ask me why sometimes, and when I was a kid, I wasn't able to ask why, but I know why it's important now to ask why, so you can make a kid understand why they got to do the dishes or why they got to stay and read, right?
Right.
But sometimes, when I say no, I don't want to have no questions of why, because yes doesn't need an explanation, only no do.
No is a complete sentence.
Period. And I didn't say period like period, I said period because it's a period after the O, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, to end this, why should people listen to this song called?
First of all, y'all should listen to the song Cold just for reassurance and reaffirming that the things that happen to you do not define you. You should listen to it because it's a good track, because Gibbs ate up that beat, because we're rapping well, because the vernacular and lyrics are strong and actually stand really rooted in what the theme is. We worked hard on it. It's great. The chorus is eating it up. We're doing it well, okay? It's a good song, and I think you guys will really enjoy it.
Yeah, definitely. If you're someone that's been searching for substance, I hear a lot of people say, "Yo, music doesn't have any substance now." This is what you've been asking for. And also, if you're someone that's feel like the world is turning you cold, or you feel like the world is making you say "fuck everybody," it's just this is that point where you can listen to this and bring yourself back down.
Bring it down.
So for me, this song and everything in life is a lie, but there is also everything is a generalization, right? You should cut a lot of people off because they might not serve you, or you might not need to cut people off because you might be the problem. So listen to this song cold and apply it to your life in the way that it's supposed to. This is not the gospel. This is just a way of thinking and a perspective. So I appreciate y'all listening. I don't even know if this is a name of anything, but this is Blakey Chad. I'm here with Rae.Dianz and James Allen. We appreciate y'all.
Yo.
That was great.